masters of speed. This is Formula One.
So we're at the Circuit of Americas. It's soggy. It's Charles Leclerc. 5 laps. Let's go. I seem to have raced a lot of COTA lately, so let's see what we can do. It's not the start that I was wanting, as I get absolutely sent on by the Red Bull of the Verstappen. Good thing is though, we have better traction coming out of turn 1. As you can see, the AI are very, very poor through the corners, but with our superior setup and our ability to go a heck of a lot faster in the corners, it means the AI are absolutely no match for us in the corners. However, down the back straight, these guys are going to be absolutely on fire. Look at Carlos pulling away. That's crazy, right? But I'm not too bothered, because this is where we get on back. And this is why the car is set up to be the way it's set up. Just gotta take your time. Choose your battles. And then just go for it into turn 1. Actually did a league race at COTA in the wet for WOR. The reason why I didn't use a wet setup was because the race dried halfway through. I went to a drier track. But yeah, COTA is one of those circuits where grip is not good. Not good in the dry, it's not good in the wet either. Hence the reason why I'm slipping and sliding all over the place. I wouldn't want to go any higher on the wings, because you have to remember, you have to make these setups decent enough for league racing as well. For those of you who league race, if you're doing my team, they're absolutely perfect, absolutely fine. And when I say about making the setups suit your driving style, by that I mean if you're league racing, because league racing's hard. It's an whole nother level for the casual who just does my team, or because grip is completely different to my team than what is online. It's so much different. Right, see if we can go faster. So 47.3. See if we can go a bit faster without causing chaos. See, in the dry, all sector 1 is flat. Well, it should be if your setup is good enough. Should all be flat. And I would say COTA is definitely a heavy traction Heavy traction circuit, definitely, especially through sectors 2 and 3. Another purple sector 2. Just take it a little bit lazily through here. So you don't want to go too crazy through this long right-hander. Try not to invalidate on the right-hand side. Or pick up a track limit warning, I mean. But yeah, went 2 seconds faster. And this is what, like, when it comes to racing in the wet, I'm one of those guys that it takes me a lap or two to get into it, feel where the grip is. Even if I'd done wet practice before a race, it would take me a while to get into it. And you have to remember, a league race or any race isn't one lap, one turn, one. It's, I mean, it helps to be in a good position after lap 1, but it's not the be all and end all. I've seen people start last on the grid and still be, you know, down at P15 come the end of lap 4. So into another heavy braking zone then. Gotta be careful not to lock the rears, and again I talk about locking the rears quite a bit, and that applies to obviously ABS off users. I obviously don't run any assists other than the line, as you can see, corners only, but this circuit would definitely benefit the ABS on users, because especially in the wet, as you gotta be so careful, because it's so easy, so easy to lock the rears and lock up the fronts.
Okay, final lap, let's go, final lap.
And the only reason why I'm absolutely smashing the AI is because 1, it's a wet circuit, 2, the AI are not very good around COTA, 3, we gain all the time on the AI through sector 1 here and sectors 2 and 3. The only place where the AI can really excel against us is on the back straight, because Codemasters, in their infinite wisdom, rather than making the AI race better, they just made them faster in a straight line. So they are still very poor when entering and exiting corners, and there is absolute proof out there already about this. Granted, I don't race at full tilt either when doing the setups. They're down on 100, because when doing the setups I like to create the car, create the setup, and try and pull away from them just to show you guys what the setup is actually like without any dramas. But as you can see, the end of 5 laps, just how poor the AI are around here in the wet. But if you went to somewhere like Monza, they would be absolutely rapid. Guys, this has been COTA. The setup is next. Do that good stuff. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one. don't I? Onto the COTA setup then. Obviously, it feels like I've raced COTA time and time again over the last few weeks, but it is what it is. But this is what I've gone with for the wet setup. Even though COTA is not technically a high downforce circuit, it kind of is in this game. Sectors 2 and 3 are treacherous in the dry, let alone in the wet. So this is what I've gone with. I've gone with 48 on the front wing, 44 on the rear. You need that downforce, you need that stability, especially through sector 3, which has the long right-hander. I think it's turn 19. But yeah, it is a bit of a beast, and you need to take care with that. On the transmission, going with 51% on diff, 50% off diff. On the suspension geometry, usually at this point I'd say if it's not broke, don't fix it. But I have gone with one click up on the front toe and one click up on the rear toe, just to help with traction and a bit of rear stability. On the suspension pretty much hasn't changed from the original setup, but the original dry setup. Just gone with a couple of clicks up on the front suspension. I think I've gone up a click on the rear suspension. I've gone down 2 on the anti-roll bar, as usually I prefer a front end turny car. I know turny's not a word, but I prefer much more turn in. But this time I haven't. I've gone with a little bit softer. Onto the ride height, I've gone with 36 on the ride height on the front and 39 on the rear. Before we get moving on to the brakes, you guys need to just treat this as a base setup. Start messing around, make the setup suit your driving style a lot better, because trust me, the car will absolutely be transformed if you play around with things and get it to suit your driving style. Onto the brakes, again, brakes only apply to ABS off users. I've gone with 100% pressure. I've gone with 56 bias. That'll probably go up or down during the race, especially heavy braking zones into turn 1, into the hairpin before the long straight, and the last turn before the start finish straight. But yeah, that'll probably go up or down depending on which corner I'm going to use to be braking. And then onto the tyres. Tyre pressures pretty much haven't changed from the dry setup. Yes, you could argue that they should be lower. However, I prefer to make sure that my tyres are hotter rather than colder, simply because when you are side by side or defending or trying to overtake, 9 times out of 10 you're going to have to move to the left to overtake someone, and if there are puddles on the left hand side, you will cool your tyres, so you want as much pressure in them as possible to keep the tyres from cooling off too much, which causes then a lot of grip. But I would love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know what you think of the setup. Remember to do all that good stuff. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Fingers crossed, the F2 should be released mid-October, so by the time I finish these wet setups, should be straight on to the F2 setups. And this has been COTA. You guys do all that good stuff. Take care. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.